Building a business may feel like a big jump, but OnDeck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you.
For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just go to getcopperhead.com. That's getcopperhead.com for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Getcopperhead.com.
Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Welcome to our paranormal afterlife. This is an extra episode of Paranormal Stories. This episode I'm reading from Michael Tim's book, Consciousness Beyond Death, New and Old Light on Near-Death Experiences. I've put a link to the book in the show notes, and I did seek permission to record this extract, and the author kindly said yes. I'm going to read from chapter 10, which is titled, The Most Dynamic NDE You'll Ever Read About. This is what Michael has written. In her 1917 book, How I Know That the Dead Are Alive, Fanny Ruthven Paget offers one of the most vivid and detailed near-death experiences ever recorded. While not clearly stating her illness, one might infer that Paget, a resident of Houston, Texas, suffered from severe pneumonia for several days during 1911. All about and above me I could see nothing, but fancy my astonishment, if you can, when looking down I saw my body resting peacefully on the bed, representing what is commonly called a dead person, Paget recalled. I could not move my eyes from it. It fascinated me as it lay in the cold whiteness, robed in a gown of lavender silk with dainty laces and ruffles. The deep blue windows of the soul, the eyes, were at half-mast. The soul being absent, the light was gone. The lips, slightly parted, were a suggestion of a smile. The left hand rested lightly on the breast, the engagement ring scintillating as brightly as ever. The right, which no doubt had been lifted unconsciously at the shock of impact, had fallen a little apart from the body and lay palm upturned. How peaceful it looked! Thus every detail of the clay image fastened itself upon my consideration as I viewed it dispassionately, realizing that it was a cast-off garment for which I had no further use. However, I felt a protective kindness towards it. It had been a faithful servant, executing my every wish and whim, and now that I had passed beyond the range of its services, it pleased my fancy to robe it in the white, pearl-bedecked dress, the wearing of which had meant so much to me in quite a different way. Paget then concerned herself with her fiancé in another room, and found herself being propelled by a vibratory sensation to his sleeping body. As I looked upon him, I saw the shadow body more distinctly than the physical. Viewed from the other side of life, the shadow body seemed the original, and the physical the duplicate, the soul the real, the body the unreal. Within and interpenetrating all was a light, which I had not before perceived as being a part of the spiritual anatomy. This light penetrated from within, both the shadow and physical bodies, maintaining through and about the body an aura or illumination which enveloped it, clothing it, as it were, in a magnetized illumination. How wonderful this 3-in-1 life manifestation seemed, especially when we generally recognize only the one, the physical. Moving closer to her fiancé, Paget attempted to converse with him, but he slept on, even though his soul, which was not sleeping, responded joyously and tried to help her penetrate his physical consciousness as he moaned and turned restlessly in his sleep. After a few moments he cried out, "Fanny! Fanny!" and sat up in bed, wide awake. As he turned on the light and reached for his glasses and a magazine, she tried to communicate, but he did not react to her words. "I am dead. That is why he cannot hear and see me," she thought, further recalling that she felt more alive than she had ever felt. There was something pitiably painful about being so near to one beloved, seeing him plainly and hearing him distinctly, even knowing that he was thinking of me, and yet having him utterly ignore my presence, and above all knowing that he would never recognize me again, never hear my voice no matter how ardently I called him, while I was the same in every way minus the physical body. Then she perceived that her vibratory environment did not harmonize with his. Mine was the vibration of perpetual motion, his more like a dead sea, into which the vibratory currents ebbed and flowed, and it seemed such an easy matter to move out of the deadness into the ebb and flow that I waited and watched a long time before I realized he would make no effort to do so. Realizing that she would not be able to penetrate his physical consciousness, she bade him farewell and attempted to move on. However, the vibratory force seemed to restrain her. Persistently the force held me, as though inviting me to further considerations of earth interests, but I had none. My material possessions were disposed of as I desired. There was no life work I was leaving incomplete. I had no children, no one depending on me. Nothing held me to the earth. My desire had been to go beyond it, and now that I had done so, I was well pleased and wanted to go on the joys I felt awaited me beyond the influence of earth. Yet the force held me. Try as I would to pass beyond it, until, instead of struggling against it, I tried to understand it, to wrest it from its reason for thus detaining me, feeling that there must be some reason for such a marked persistence. Almost instantly, the lesson sank into my consciousness, and I realized that the long arm of mundane interests can reach into the beyond and hold its victims within the shadow of earth, pitting its magnetism against the promise of higher things. She then felt herself moving in an undulating way within the propelling vibration and was suddenly enveloped in oppressive, heavy darkness, feeling alone in eternity and waiting in awesome uncertainty. She perceived that the darkness was really within her and could be eliminated only from within. There were loved ones and many others welcoming me and rejoicing that I was with them. Her spirit guide, who identified himself as Meon, was also there. She now felt light and carefree. Meon then told her to follow him, and with a soft bluish light playing about and enveloping us, we floated out on the undulating waves of space. As they were propelled by vibratory waves, they encountered a red darkness, where she found herself among many others. I was listening, trying to hear what they were saying, but the vibrations were evidently not in harmony, so I could not hear distinctly, and after a long time of vain effort, I turned to Meon and asked, "What is this place?" Meon explained that they were in a place still very much within Earth's magnetism, or spiritual gravitation. Paget asked why the souls were detained there, and Meon informed her that some desire it, while others were not yet strong enough to progress beyond that point. Earth interests hold them, he explained. There was no bar to their going on, but they did not want to. Some did not know that they could not give up the earth life, Paget related. In this dark, earth-magnetized region, disembodied spirits live the mundane existence much as the psychic lives the spiritual, yet while in the mundane, one in progression, the other in retrogression. Disembodied spirits living the mundane life do so at the expense of human beings in the earth life, while the mundane person living the spiritual life is obeying the law of evolution and progression. Paget observed spirits of love and mercy attempting to help those souls stuck in this hellish realm, but most of them had not yet acquired spiritual hearing and did not respond to the offers of assistance. There were some, however, who heard and struggled up from the vortex. Mion informed her that no soul was irretrievably lost, no matter how many eons it may remain in the darkness. Paget began to wonder if this was to be her new abode, but Mion assured her that it was not. Did not the Christ descend into this place before his ascension? He addressed her concern. Far out beyond the red-fringed darkness, I could see the light, in which rainbows seemed to play, pale as the dawn, of a grey weird loveliness, coming and going as though flirting with the darkness, for to embrace it would be to destroy, she continued on. For delicate beauty, it seemed I had never seen anything more fascinating or alluring than this kiss of the dawn and the darkness in the soul world. It was like kissing death goodbye. They passed into what seemed to be another world. Paget called it the dawn world, since it seemed that the light began to neutralize the darkness. There were houses, flowers, trees. Everything was so earth-like it amazed me. I almost fancied I had returned to Earth. Today I was reading from Michael Tim's book, Consciousness Beyond Death, New and Old Light on the Near-Death Experience. If you want to buy the book, there is info and a link in the show notes. And my book on verified near-death experience is out now on Amazon, and you can get it on paperback, Kindle and audiobook. A great way to support the podcast is to sign up on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/Our Paranormal Afterlife, or click on the button on my homepage at pastliveshypnosis.co.uk. And if you enjoy the podcast, please leave a review and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or via your favourite podcast app to make sure that you don't miss out on any episodes. And thanks for listening.
The sun's blazing and the pavement sizzling. Time for My Mochi ice cream. My Mochi is little scoops of cool, creamy ice cream wrapped in soft, chewy dough. It comes in tons of amazing flavors like strawberry, mango, and cookies and cream. Gluten-free, snack-ready, and just 70 calories apiece. My Mochi's perfect for pool days, barbecues, and just chilling with your crew. When the heat's on, grab a purple box of My Mochi ice cream. Pop one, cool down, joyfully chill.
When you're separating from the military, no one tells you how hard it can be to get your civilian life up to speed. But with VA benefits, it doesn't have to be. From the VA home loan requiring no down payment, to the GI Bill covering tuition, books, and cost of living, to VA healthcare offering top-ranked, low-cost care designed specifically for veterans. All the support you need is at VA. I'm here telling every veteran because I wish someone had told me. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.